There was this man and there was this woman that were going to church. They were right with God. And then they left the church. Things started to get really bad with them. So then they turned to God. God helped them through their situation and they came back to church. After a couple months of everything being completely fine, then they left the church again. Then things got really bad for them. And what did they do? They turned back to God all over again. They went back to church. Things were good. Everything, God touched their lives and everything went okay. Then they left the church again after a couple months. Things got bad all over again. But this time when they left the church, the male died. Now, the man and the woman were living in the world. When I say leaving the church, obviously. The man died, and the man died in sin. He wasn't following God. He had left the church all over again. The thing of it is people live in this fairy tale. It's like a brainwashing that goes across people, that they get this idea that everything's going to work out, everything's going to be fine. The man would say the same thing. We're going to come back and everything's going to be good and everything's going to be okay. But it's not. This world is not a fairy tale, but people tend to believe that it's like a fairy tale. Everything's going to work out. Everything's going to be fine. And you know what? When things go bad, I'll go back to my lottery ticket. God. Oh, well, God's a lottery ticket. If things go bad, all I have to do is pray to God and He'll fix my problems. I want, but I'm not going to do anything for the Lord. Okay, I'm not going to serve the Lord, after He does bless me. Then it's, please give me this, help me in this, help me in that. But when things go good, there they went out to church. It was like a lottery ticket mentality, and the man ended up dying in sin, okay? God wants you to stay and follow Him. He doesn't want you to walk away. If that was the case, why would He even help you in your life? Why would He even do this at all? But He helps you anyway if you lean on Him, despite all of that. But when you leave the church, tomorrow's not promised. You might not realize that you're constantly walking in hell's waiting room while you're wide awake on the earth. Because you don't realize that you're walking in sin. You're on your way to going into hell, okay? All I can say is if you're in church right now and you're following God, don't walk away, don't leave, because tomorrow is not promised. You could be dead tomorrow. You could be dead 5 minutes from now. Tomorrow is not promised. If you're in the church now, don't ever leave the church. And if you're outside of the church, go back to the church. And also, if you ever get people to go to church and they start really following God after a while, I think it's really important to tell them this story. I mean, not so much showing them my video. I don't care. That's irrelevant. But just telling them about this story. And if not my story, I'm sure that some people run across stories that are just like this, that have really happened in the real world. And it's not saying it to be mean to people that are new converts that come to church in the first place, but so it can be instilled in them this idea of, wow, you know what, if I turn my back on God, I can die and go to hell. This world really is not a fairy tale. That you really can die in sin and you can go to hell. I'll never forget to this day standing at that man's grave, and he was laying there dead. People prayed for him, people hoped for him, people thought, oh, we hope that things change, and we're just really praying. The man still died in sin because you're responsible for yourself. If you die in sin, it's your fault that you died in sin. That's just the point of this video. I just really hope that somebody listens to this and it really gets instilled to them, or they really go and tell somebody about this, especially a new convert after they've been in long enough, just so that can be instilled in them also. This world is not a fairy tale. You can die in sin, and God is not a lottery ticket. Thank you, and have a nice day.